One of the easiest ways to help you get sharper photos in your Canon R-series camera is to make sure that your shutter speed is fast enough to freeze any movement that might be happening in your frame. And one of the best ways to do that is to use Auto ISO. Auto ISO is something that I've been using for years now, and I wish I had embraced it sooner. You can think of it as an ISO assistant. So instead of you having to figure out, do I want to use ISO 100 or 400 or 6400 here for every situation that you might be in, you just give the camera permission to roam within an ISO range that you set. And depending on the available light, the camera will determine which ISO would be best. And in most Canon R-series cameras, you can also program a minimum shutter speed, telling the camera, never go below this shutter speed. So those are two ways that Auto ISO can help you get sharper photos. Here's how it works in the Canon R-series cameras and how to set it up. This is a free preview lesson from my Canon R Photography Fundamentals course, which you'll find linked in the video description. So with Auto ISO, the camera will always try to use the lowest possible ISO and the fastest shutter speed, and this will help you get a sharper photo. But if the picture is still too dark at the lowest ISO, the camera will then slow down the shutter speed to let in enough light until it reaches the minimum shutter speed that you programmed. And this is important. This is only applicable in Program Auto or Aperture Priority Mode, where the shutter speed is automatic, where the camera is picking that shutter speed. So here you can see I have a spotlight on Dwight. The Auto ISO is right now at the programmed minimum of 100. I have a really fast shutter speed of 1/1250th of a second, and the aperture is wide open at f4.5. Now, as I start to lower the intensity of that spotlight, you can see the shutter speed start to slow until it gets to the programmed minimum of 1/250th of a second. Once it gets there, it stops decreasing the shutter speed. But as that light continues to decrease in intensity, the ISO now starts to increase. And that ISO will continue to increase up to the programmed maximum of 12,800. Once it reaches the maximum of 12,800, that ISO will not increase any further. However, if the light continues to decrease, then the shutter speed will start to slow down to compensate for that. This minimum shutter speed variable isn't applicable in shutter priority or manual exposure modes because your chosen shutter speed, the one that you manually select, overrides the minimum shutter speed. And in those modes, the camera will only adjust the ISO within your programmed ISO range. We see here, this is a manual shutter speed that I have set in shutter priority mode. And as that light decreases, it's only the ISO that is changing, increasing with the decreasing light. Here's another example using our exposure triangle. This Auto ISO progression has a range of 100 to 3200 for our Auto ISO programming, and again, a minimum shutter speed of 1/250th of a second. And the ISO stays at the minimum programmed ISO, and the shutter speed slows to the minimum to get the proper exposure. Now, as that light decreases, the ISO rises to the maximum. Once the ISO is at the maximum, the shutter speed dips below the minimum programmed shutter speed to maintain that proper exposure. Let's look at the programming now. All Canon R cameras have an Auto ISO setup screen in the ISO speed settings menu found on page 2 of the shooting menu. I've also included the ISO speed settings submenu in my custom My menu so that I can quickly edit and enable it when needed without having to go into the shooting menu. So the first thing you need to do is determine the ISO range that you're comfortable operating in. And yes, a lower ISO is better, but you shouldn't be afraid of higher ISO values. Don't limit yourself to lower ISOs. You're going to miss a lot of photos because they will be blurry. Yes, you will notice noise in your photos when you view them on your computer monitor at 100% zoom because that's just what photographers do. But your viewers, the people who are looking at your photos, are not going to be doing that. They are going to be paying attention to the composition, the colors, the moment captured in the photo. They'll also be viewing downsized photos on a small smartphone screen or on web pages. And even in print, noise isn't that noticeable. Going up to an ISO of 12,800 was the only way for me to capture these moments at this squadron reunion that I went to at night around a campfire. I already had my aperture open to f2.8 all the way and a very, very slow shutter speed of 1/30th of a second. I shouldn't have gone that low, but I had to because my ISO was at 12,800. And if I had slowed my shutter speed any further, these pictures would definitely be blurry and I could not use any of them. I had to go up to 12,800 and no one cares about the noise. So don't be afraid to go high. That's the takeaway from this. My recommendation is just for you to take a bunch of different photos in different lighting situations at various high ISO levels and learn where your personal upper limit is. What's the highest that you are comfortable going to with all of those results that you see? For me, on Canon R cameras, this is 6,400 for daily use. Now to program that, you're going to go into that ISO speed settings menu. Some cameras are different, but on most Canon R cameras, you're going to select auto range and press set. Select minimum and press set to change that. I recommend leaving this at 100. Then select maximum and press set to change that. As I mentioned, I set this to 6,400. Then select OK and press set to save. Your camera, if it's an older camera or a more consumer beginner camera, may only have max for auto in that ISO speed settings menu. So here you're just going to select your upper limit. Your lower limit is automatically set to 100. And be sure you're not accidentally setting the ISO speed range option. This is not the same as your auto ISO range. As for the minimum shutter speed, which is not available on all cameras, you need to determine what kind of motion you're trying to stop when you're in auto ISO. If the motion is the movement of people and everyday life, then 1/250th is a good minimum shutter speed. If it's wildlife, you may want to increase that to say 1/500th of a second. Birds in flight, you may need to go even higher if that's your default subject that you're normally shooting, the movement that you are normally trying to freeze. So in that minimum shutter speed, select manual and then use the dial to select your desired slowest shutter speed. The camera will not go any slower than this unless there's absolutely not enough light. Then press set to save. If the movement is of your own shaky hands, you just photograph still life. Nothing in front of the camera is moving, but the movement you need to freeze is your own hand movement holding the camera, then auto is a good option here. Auto sets your minimum shutter speed based on your lens focal length. For example, if you're using a 50mm lens, or you have a zoom lens that's set to 50mm, the camera will choose approximately 1/50th of a second as the minimum shutter speed. If you zoom that lens into 200mm, or you're using a 200mm lens, the camera will automatically increase that minimum shutter speed to 1/200th of a second. Now, this math is all based on full frame sensors. Shutter speeds for the crop sensors, APS-C sensors, have an automatic conversion applied to it. So there's really no thinking about it here on your part. The auto minimum shutter speed also gives you faster and slower options and this will offset the default auto minimum shutter speed in a range of -3 to +3 stops. For example, if you always use image stabilization and you can accept slower than normal shutter speeds, try setting auto -2. That means that if you're using a 50mm lens, the camera will go down to a minimum shutter speed 2 stops slower than 1/50th of a second, which is approximately 1/13th of a second. And that is going to help you maintain lower ISOs for longer in lower light because the camera is going to a slower shutter speed because you have image stabilization. Or if you want to use the auto option and you might be photographing movement in front of your camera, set auto +2. For a 50mm lens, the camera is going to use a shutter speed 2 stops faster than 1/50th of a second, which is 1/200th of a second. The only gotcha with that is it could force you into higher ISOs more often because it is defaulting to a faster shutter speed. As for using auto ISO, getting into that, there are several different ways to enable auto ISO when you want to use it. In the ISO speed settings menu, in ISO speed, you can select auto. If your camera has an ISO button or a custom button assigned to ISO, you can press that and then follow the instructions on the screen to select auto. It's mostly pressing the info button. You could also tap that ISO value on the screen and select auto using the touch screen. Or you could press the multifunction button and use the dials to set ISO to auto. You'll also set manual ISO values using the same methods if you don't want to use auto. All those ways to select auto, you could just select a manual ISO value when you need to. Then while shooting, you'll see ISO auto in the lower right when auto ISO is enabled. Once the metering timer is activated by half pressing the shutter or commanding autofocus, you'll see the instantly calculated ISO value at that moment in time. Now, you won't see any warnings if your shutter speed slows below your programmed minimum, so you do need to be careful for that. If you're in low light, check that shutter speed. So to recap, think of auto ISO as your personal ISO assistant to pick the appropriate ISO for the lighting that you're in. And that will free up your brain to focus, no pun intended, on more important things. If you want to learn even more about your Canon R-series, exposure modes, how to set up your camera, the different focus systems, you can check out my Canon R Photography Fundamentals course at photocourses.link/CanonR. Use the code TUBE20 to save 20% off of that course. Please let me know if you have any other questions or comments on using auto ISO. Subscribe for more great tips like this every week, and I hope to see you in the next video.